Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to meet Bob.
Hi.
And Bob is in a wheelchair, as you can see, and he's not letting that stop him.
Do not.
You're going to live. He's going to live his life, and so there are a lot of you out there. I'm getting the letters, and I'm handicapped. I have restrictions. There are things I can't do. Is it hopeless for me? And Bob, do you have a message for people that are saying that?
I just think that if you really want to do something, you'll figure out a way to do it, and you know, you have to kind of taper what you can and can't do, but other than that, no, you can get out and do anything you set your mind to.
So how did you lose your leg?
I was walking my dog and got hit by a drunk driver.
Oh my, yeah, that's just that's horrible.
Yeah.
So you had both legs, and then all of a sudden you lost one.
Right. Yeah.
And that would just be devastating.
It was. So that was 11 years ago this year, just back on January 8th. And last year, when it was the 10-year anniversary, something just snapped in my head, and I'm like, I'm not, you know, I'm alive, but I'm not living my life. And it was like, I was like, I want to go camping, I want to go fishing. I missed both of those things, and yeah, I just decided, you know, I'm going to build out a trailer that I can carry my fishing gear in, I can get my wheelchair in, and you know, I've got a bed to sleep on, and really that's about all I needed to get started. So
right. And you know, as we've shown in our whole community, you don't need that much.
No.
And what you need is access and movability.
Yep.
And a cargo trailer with a drop-down door provides it pretty easily.
It does, and you know, I built a second ramp on the bottom there so I can get over the lip, and most of the time I can just roll right up in with no problem.
So we'll see, but you have a special chair that gets you around in rough country like we're in the desert.
Yeah, it's my off-road chair that
off-road chair, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's made by a place out in Maine called Renegade Wheelchairs, and it works great. It's got 8 speeds on it, it's got disc brakes on it, it's got big tires.
8 speeds, okay. Doing wheelies, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Burn them down.
It's got a gun rack, you know, or a bow rack, but I use it to carry my crutches. And I've got skis for it and tire chains, so I can go out in the snow if I want to, which I don't do, that's why I'm in Arizona.
So the first 10 years you kind of let it affect you.
I did. I mean, in some ways, there was always those times that I'm like, I'd like to go do this, but I didn't. I still was trying to stay busy and do different things, but it just wasn't enough. And so, like I said, when I got to that 10-year anniversary, I was just like, I really need to live, not just be alive.
Right, and that's something probably most of my audience is struggling, although we're not, you know, we don't have a handicap like you do. Handicap, okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You know, but we still find we're not really living.
Right.
We've handicapped ourselves.
Right.
You know, an accident handicapped you, but we handicap ourselves.
Right.
And we have to do the same thing, is I'm going to live no matter what.
Yep. And I mean, you know, people ask me, they're like, how have you dealt with this? You know, I don't know if I'd be strong enough to do it.
Too.
And, you know, 2 of my favorite sayings are, you don't know how strong you are until strong is the only thing you have left. You know, and the other thing is, you know, they're like, well, how do you get up and just do something every day? And I'm like, I do the same thing you do. I get up and I decide to live rather than lay in bed and wait to die. Most people don't make that decision consciously because they have to go to work or whatever. You know, sometimes I have to make that consciously, but you know, just deciding to get up and live and go do as much as you can is the biggest thing.
And here you are.
And here I am. Drove from Michigan all the way down here just to be here for this event. So.
And it's there are ups and downs. There are ups and downs for us, but they must be real severe ups and downs for you.
Yeah, I don't like ups, but I do like downs, at least in my chair. But yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think it's any different than anybody else. I mean, there's other challenges, but you know, everybody's got good times in their lives and everybody's got bad, and you just got to figure out your own way to get through them. And you know, mine is being outdoors, and I love being outdoors. I love fishing. You know, it's just that's what you do. You got to find what you love and just go for it.
Right. Happiness is your choice.
Exactly.
Even when life really gives you a bad hand, happiness is still your choice.
Yep. And you know, the funny thing is, no matter what your situation is, it's like there's always something that's got a worse one. You know, it's I know a lot of people that have disabilities, and we don't compare them because their challenges are different than mine. So they're, you know, I would look at them and be like, boy, I don't want to have to do that, you know, or go through that. But, you know, they look at me and they're like, some of the stuff you've gone through, I wouldn't want to go through. So, you know, you can't compare apples to apples. So you just got to figure out what your limitations are and then push them and see how much further you can go.
Well, there's a lot of you folks out there who are struggling with your own handicaps and your own disabilities. So show us how you've overcome yours and made your life really good as it can be.
Well, one of the things that I did was I made a bed that was finger jointed, so I can pull it out and I have a full-size mattress. But most of the time I leave it pushed in, so I have more of a couch to sit on. You know, I've got everything in storage. I'm lucky because I can still use my leg quite a bit. So, you know, I can put stuff up a little bit higher than what some other people in a chair would be. But realistically, if I push the bed in all the way, you know, I can still get my wheelchair next to it. But if I push the bed in all the way so that that's in, I can actually go up and spin around anywhere. I designed the cabinet so that it was deep enough that I could come back here and still move around. And, you know, I've got to move over, but because this drawer will pull all the way out. But, you know, as long as I'm pushed back all the way, I can get all the way to the back of my drawer. Yeah, I don't know. I've got my little porta potty down there, so in my closet that I built out. I do have off-road tires for this chair, so I can get around a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's just a pretty standard utility trailer.
It doesn't look. It looks better than most I've seen. It looks better than one I made.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I got that idea that I would rather build something once and have it right. And I mean, realistically, I build everything with a chop saw and a Craig jig for the most part, and then a little 18-volt, you know, drill and saw.
Right.
But yeah, so it's, you know, it works out really good for me, and I've been enjoying it, and I'm getting ready to do a full year in it and see how that goes.
Yeah.
And right now I'm in the process of figuring out what I do and don't need, and I'm finding out I need less and less. So it's working out really well.
And I'm really impressed with your door, your screen door here. Well, get out of the way if you want to show us how that works.
Yeah, I was going up into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan last year, and the bugs and stuff up there are really horrible, so I wanted to be able to have the back open, and so I just used full extension door slides and have a 3-piece sliding door, and if I can get it to close all the way. You know, it seals out all the bugs, but it still allows a lot of airflow in. And that's probably the thing that people notice most, is the fact that I can have the whole back open and, you know, and not have any bugs come in and whatnot. So
that was really good.
Yeah, that took a little bit of figuring out how to do, but once I figured it out, it was pretty simple to build. So.
Well, one thing I think most people will wonder is, how do you get the back ramp up and down?
So I can use this to get in and out at night. I designed it so that I can go ahead and close it from inside, and my little ramp on the bottom there, I just pull up with one rope, flip that down, and then I've got a pulley up here with the other rope, and luckily using a wheelchair you get pretty strong, and I just start pulling it up, closes right up. Then I have a little latch right here and a catch on that board, so I can lock it up so people can't just reach in and grab it. And then this one, as long as I keep the rope right there, just flip it up, flip it down, there we go.
You're in and out.
Yep, it's just, you just got to kind of think things through and, look on the web. And there's not a lot on the web. That's the whole thing. Because there's not a lot of people in chairs that do a lot of camping that I've found.
And so your truck must be set up with disabled controls, hand controls? No?
Nope. I still have pretty good use of my left leg and my left foot, so I just drive with my left foot.
Really?
Yeah. It took me about 15 minutes to figure out.
Oh, really?
I used to drive a clutch all the time, so I was used to using my left foot, and now it's just a matter of, gas and then brake.
Well, great.
And the nice thing is, if you have to make a panic stop, you're not like some people where they panic and they hit the gas.
Yeah, you're not going to do that.
I'm always going to hit the brake because that's where my left foot goes to. So, yeah, it's so it's just a regular vehicle.
Regular truck.
Yep.
And so you can hitch her up, and you have to be independent.
Yeah.
When you're out here.
Yeah, and that's kind of a blessing and a curse. I've always been independent and always, wanted to be able to know I can survive on my own. And, it's very, you know, when you have an accident or a disability like that, for me it was really hard to accept help from people. You know, it's comes down to, I want to be able to do it myself, but you also, you know, you got to get past that idea of charity and of help and whatnot, because you can't do everything on your own. You do need help. And that's been a difficult part for me to get over, but in some ways it's been a blessing, in some ways it's been a curse, because I try not to let stuff stop me. You know, if somebody tells me I can't do it, watch me, I'll figure it out. When I was up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, I was in this wheelchair. Thankfully the trails were pretty well packed with small rocks, but I was 3 miles down a trail taking pictures of a waterfall. You know, and everybody back there was just shocked that I'd even be back there. So,
right.
But you know, I went to Chaco Canyon last year, and the rangers were like, "Well, you can't go this way, you can't go that way," and I'm like, I got pictures of me where they told me I couldn't go. So, it's you just got to know your limitations, but you also got to be willing to push them and see exactly how far you go, because unless you push your limitations, you don't know what you can do.
Absolutely.
Right here.
So this is my off-road chair. It's made by a company in Maine called Renegade. It's got 8 speeds, so I can go on flat ground, I can go really fast, or rough ground around out here, I can get around. I can just downshift. I can go through a lot of these little washes. Disc brakes, 26-inch tires on the back. I think the fronts are 6, and yeah, it's a totally different set of muscles than my other wheelchair, so I get a pretty good upper body workout both ways. Yeah, it's just, this one allows me to probably get in a little bit places I probably shouldn't be able to, or shouldn't go. But
yeah,
you know,
I would say this qualifies.
You just learn what you can and can't do, and what you should and shouldn't do. And if you get into one of those situations, you just hope somebody's around that's willing to help you out. And I've never run into a problem where I haven't found that.
So you know, I guess if there's a lesson to be learned here, it's where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. I mean, if you believe you can't do it, then you'll never be able to do it.
Right.
If you believe you can do it and you can figure it out, you will.
Well, I guess but still the hard question is, you found that will, and there are people that can't.
Right.
Is there anything you can tell them to find the will to just press on no matter what? It's just, you got to find it yourself.
Just, there's a difference between living and being alive, and if you're not living, then you're just laying there waiting to die, and that's not who I am, and that's not how I want to be.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question, because it's different, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, but look at how many of these people out here, like people camping out of Priuses. I don't understand how you could ever do that. You know, I'm like, or even minivans is tough. You know, and
yeah.
But they are bound and determined to do it, and they figured it out. And you know, everybody has to find that one thing in themselves that allows them to go out and do what they want to do.
Right.
And you know, for me, it was the love of fishing and camping, and I like being outside. I don't, you know, I could never work a 9-to-5 job sitting in a cubicle in front of a computer. That would kill me.
So folks, if Bob hasn't inspired you, no one can inspire you. And do you have a media that people can, social media that people can contact you?
I do. It's Kramer Visuals 2018, so it's KRAMER and then Visuals 2018. And I'm on Flickr, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, although I haven't used Twitter very much, so I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Yeah, that one's a hard one.
Yeah.
Okay, so go there, Kramer Visuals 2018, and just Google search that.
Yep.
They'll find you all over the place.
Should be. Yep.
And you can find that inspiration for yourself, not just to lay there and survive, but get up and go.
Right. Yep.
That's really, really great. Thank you, Bob, so much for sharing your life and your experience with us.
And thanks for putting on this event. It's amazing.
My pleasure. It really is, truly is my pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, folks, I know beyond any shadow of doubt you've gotten something out of this video. So if you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you later.